A gentleness surfaced on Kai Lin's cold face when she saw the excitement appear in Xiao Yan's eyes as he looked at Xiao Xiao. She valued Xiao Xiao, who was even more important than her own life. Xiao Yan truly treating Xiao Xiao well was the most important thing in her heart. Xiao Xiao's current condition is already very good. She was born with a good constitution because of the Heaven Soul Blood Bone pill that you had sent back. Kai Lin smiled as she explained. She involuntarily glanced at Xiao Yan again when she mentioned the pill. She had made up her mind back then. If Xiao Yan dared to forget about the medicinal pill that they had agreed or missed the date he had promised to deliver, she would have no longer contacted him in the future. Her character was stubborn, and she would never regret anything she decided on. If Xiao Yan broke his promise, she would definitely not hesitate to act. At the very most, she would lead the Snake People tribe on a journey away. Fortunately, Xiao Yan had remembered the medicine and the delivery time in his heart. He had even asked Xiaoli to deliver the medicinal pill when he had left the Black Corner region. The Heaven Soul Blood Bone pill might be good, but it is still not enough. Xiao Yan shook his head. With his current eyesight, he no longer thought highly of the Heaven Soul Blood Bone pill. This medicinal pill might still be all right when it came to building a foundation, but it was far from reaching the cornerstone he wanted to set down. Your Snake People tribe has likely never met a true alchemist grandmaster. Hence, you only possess that 3 grades of secret technique. The Heaven Soul Blood Bone pill is at the very most a Tier 7 low-grade medicinal pill. It can build one's foundation, but it is far from perfection. Xiao Yan's eyes wandered the busy scene on the wall as he laughed. The Heaven Soul Blood Bone pill might be good, but there are many that are even better. An example would be the mysterious Bodhisattva Foundation Building pill. It is a peak Tier 7 medicinal pill and is extremely suitable for Xiao Xiao. However, even I only have a 40% chance of successfully refining such a medicinal pill. I'm afraid that Alliance Chief will have to personally do the refinement. A person faintly made a comment by the side. Xiao Yan's eyes followed the voice and involuntarily grinned. He cupped his hands to that person as he laughed. Grandmaster Gu He, how are you? The person who had just spoken was naturally the Pill King of the Jiama Empire and the current head of the Yin Alliance Medicinal Hall. At this moment, a couple of elders in alchemist robes were standing behind him. Xiao Yan didn't find them familiar. They probably joined the Yin Alliance after he left, but Xiao Yan's brows were slightly lifted when he studied the gazes of these people. Although their eyes contained a respect when they looked at him, an unknown expression was more prevalent. Alliance Chief, you have disappeared for a couple of years in one go. How free and easy. Gu He cupped his hands toward Xiao Yan and faintly laughed. He felt a complicated emotion in his heart for Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan had stopped his marriage with the Misty Cloud sect back then and had caused him to lose face. Fortunately, he was able to put it behind him, which had prevented him from forming a grudge. Since he hadn't formed a grudge, he agreed to join the Yin Alliance after losing to Xiao Yan in a medicinal pill competition. Although Gu He had joined the Yin Alliance, that failure had caused Gu He to bear a grudge. He had spent these years bitterly training his medicinal refinement skills. He had already reached the level of a high-grade Tier 7 alchemist. There was hardly anyone in the Northwest who could surpass him. With the increase in his strength, he would naturally think about competing again. However, Xiao Yan had disappeared for many years, and Gu He had no means of locating him. Now that Xiao Yan had returned, Gu He could not resist expressing the thoughts in his heart. Of course, he did not have any ill intent. It was just that he, who had always been proud of his talent, was unwilling to admit that he had been defeated by the hands of a person much younger than him. Grandmaster Gu He can be considered one of the top few alchemist grandmasters in the northwestern part of the continent. The Pill Hall has become quite strong under his management and development. Therefore, the Pill Hall has been credited for the swift development of the Yin Alliance. Those few behind him are the elders of the Pill Hall. They are all Tier 6 alchemists and are the top pillars of the Pill Hall. Kai Lin by the side introduced. Her pretty eyes vaguely flickered while she spoke. Xiao Yin narrowed his eyes. He was just about to speak when Kai Lin's faint voice suddenly appeared beside his ear. The Pill Hall is far too important to the Yin Alliance. Moreover, the Yin Alliance's swift development during these years can be completely attributed to the Pill Hall. Therefore, some of the upper echelons of the Pill Hall have become arrogant. There are even some who think that the Yin Alliance would not exist without the Pill Hall. The Pill Hall has slowly become independent. I am not an alchemist, therefore. My prestige is less than Gu He's prestige in the hearts of these people from the Pill Hall. Xiao Yin gently interlaced his fingers and faintly smiled. Too much authority, too important, could not be managed by authority. The appearance of such a situation was not really surprising. An alchemist was superior in the hearts of ordinary people to begin with. Adding the importance of the Pill Hall to the Yin Alliance, the alchemist would ultimately feel superior to the other departments. Even the leaders at the top were not treated as respectfully in their hearts compared to others. The top management of the Yin Alliance like Kai Lin, Xiao Ding, Xiao Li, etc. were not alchemists. Naturally, they were unable to get these alchemists to submit to them. Although Gu He was upright, he did not possess the ability to manage his subordinates, which ultimately bred arrogance in the Pill Hall. It looks like the interior of the Yin Alliance is not as united as I had imagined. Such an arrogance cannot be allowed to grow. Otherwise, it will definitely become a cancer to the Yin Alliance in the future. Xiao Yin glanced at Gu He and the few Pill Hall elders behind him. He immediately laughed and said, "The mysterious Bodhisattva Foundation building pill is still acceptable, but it is not the best choice. I wonder if Grandmaster Gu He has heard of a medicinal pill known as First Start Pill?" The words First Start Pill had just landed in their ears when Gu He and the few elders of the Pill Hall revealed a different expression. They exclaimed, "The Tier 8 First Start Pill? Alliance Chief can already refine a Tier 8 medicinal pill?" Gu He was extremely shocked as he stared at Xiao Yin. The Pill Hall elders behind him were a little shaken and full of doubt as they stared at Xiao Yin. Gu He could be considered one of the top alchemists in the northwestern region by being able to refine a Tier 7 high-grade medicinal pill. They had always viewed Gu He as the leader. Although these people had heard about Xiao Yin, their hearts always thought that the current Gu He was the true top alchemist in the Yin Alliance. Tier 8 medicinal pills are differentiated by the number of pill lightning colors. A First Start pill should attract a 5-colored pill lightning. Grandmaster Gu He, gather all the alchemists in the Pill Hall tomorrow. I will be publicly refining a pill. Everyone must be present. Anyone who fails to come will be immediately expelled from the Yin Alliance. When I left back then, I had given the Pill Hall an authority and an advantage that no other halls possessed, but the Pill Hall has less than 5 Tier 7 alchemists. This is inefficient. Xiao Yin spoke in a deep voice as he looked at Gu He. Gu He's heart shook when he heard Xiao Yan's voice suddenly becoming stern. He was an intelligent person. After some thoughts, he immediately understood that Xiao Yin was planning to reform the Pill Hall. He was aware of the bad habits that had formed in the Pill Hall during these years, but he had not managed them. Although Kai Lin was powerful, she did not understand pill refinement and was unable to gain much prestige in the Pill Hall. However, the current Xiao Yin was different. Xiao Yan's alchemist skills had already exceeded Gu He's even back then. Since Gu He was able to reach the Tier 7 alchemist class, it would not be impossible for him to reach the 8th tier alchemist guru level given his speed. The few Pill Hall elders behind Gu He faced each other and felt anything but reassured. Even Kai Lin had never spoken to Gu He in such a way during these years. However, this alliance chief in front was planning on acting against the most important Pill Hall. Understood, alliance chief. In that case, I will return and gather the members of the Pill Hall to await alliance chief's arrival tomorrow. Gu helplessly sighed, but he still gave a reply, after which he cupped his hands together. Only when Xiao Yin nodded did he lead the few elders of the pill hall away. He understood that the pill hall would definitely turn into an uproar when this news spread. Xiao Yan's eyes slowly narrowed after watching Guhi's group grow distant. Is this suitable? Being too rude will likely cause those haughty alchemists to feel some displeasure in their hearts. Kailin spoke in a worried manner. She was extremely familiar with the figures from the pill hall. They would occasionally make things difficult for the people who were dispatched to the pill hall. From this, it was possible to tell the practices that had taken root within the pill hall. Displeasure? They are merely ordinary alchemists. You view them too well? An alchemist at such a tier would barely be able to make a living in the Central Plains. One can just hire another if the alchemist leaves. Xiao Yin spoke in a faint voice. He was building a wormhole between the Falling Star Pavilion and the Yin Alliance. He would be able to swiftly travel between the two places. If it was alchemists, he would just hire them from the Central Plains. Given the current reputation he and Yao Lao enjoyed in the alchemist world of the Central Plains, forget about those low-tier ones. Tier 7 alchemist grandmasters would swarm over. Moreover, their quality would be many times better than these people who did not know what was good for them. Coincidentally, I am planning to help Xiao refine a medicinal pill. I will take out the cauldron and refine a pill in the pill hall tomorrow to act as a deterrent. It is time to manage this pill hall properly. Xiao Yin gently patted little Xiao in his embrace and deeply spoke. The current him did indeed feel quite furious in his heart. It was unexpected that the special authority he given the pill hall back then had become a cancer to the Yin Alliance. Kailin nodded when she saw Xiao Yan's somewhat gloomy face. She had also been angered by the pill hall many times during these years. However, she had been enduring this anger for the sake of the bigger picture. Now that Xiao Yin was back, it was impossible for him to let this thing slide, especially with his method of doing things. Some elders from the pill hall have yet to appear. Those people are the true thorns. There are 2 Tier 7 alchemists among them who join later on. They are immensely arrogant. Based on some information I obtained, it seems that they once secretly sold a pill hall medicinal pill to an outside source. However, I have not found any evidence and can do nothing, Kailin softly explained. A faint sound was emitted from Xiao Yan's nostrils, and a cold glint flickered in his dark black eyes. Being the most important location for the Yin Alliance outside of the Jiama Empire, there were naturally a large number of pill hall members located in the mysterious Yellow Fortress. Moreover, due to the war, around 80% of the pill hall had been relocated within the branch hall in the fortress. Quite a large commotion had occurred when Guhi had relayed the words Xiao Yin had said back to the pill hall. Things had been too smooth for the pill hall during these years. Adding the importance of the alchemists, their arrogant auras had become even richer. Normally, even Kailin did not speak to them this sternly. Although Xiao Yin was the chief of the Yin Alliance, he had been missing for far too long. Some of the alchemists who subsequently joined the Yin Alliance had only heard of his existence from the mouths of others. Hence, their respect for him was naturally far inferior to those from the other halls of the Yin Alliance. The branch hall of the Pill Hall for the mysterious Yellow Fortress was situated to the northwest. There was an enormous region located at that spot. It belonged to the territory of the Pill Hall. This kind of treatment could be considered the best among all the halls of the Yin Alliance. At this moment, a large room within this branch hall had descended into a quarrel. Himph, our chief of the Yin Alliance is really imposing. He has only just returned, but he already wishes to intervene in the matters of our Pill Hall. If not for our Pill Hall during these years, would the Yin Alliance have the achievements it does today? A gray-robed elder in the large room coldly snorted with disdain. There was an alchemist badge on his chest. 7 golden ripples appeared on it. This person was also a Tier 7 alchemist. Grandmaster Lu Chong is right. This gray-clothed elder clearly possessed a great reputation within the Pill Hall. Hence, some alchemists immediately voiced their agreement after he spoke. Gu He was seated in the leader's chair in the large room. He was frowning, but he did not say anything. His pill refinement talent was quite great, but his management skills were a little lacking. There was also a white-haired old man seated beside Gu He. He was the chairman of the Alchemist Association back then, Fa Ma. At this moment, he did not join any argument in the large room. He merely shut his eyes and acted like he was not hearing anything. Hall Chief Gu, you should speak to the Alliance Chief regarding this matter. The Pill Hall cannot be compared to the other halls. Even the Deputy Alliance Chief has not intervened in the matters of our Pill Hall during these years. In return, we allowed the Pill Hall to become the supporting pillar of the Yen Alliance. We are indeed grateful that the Alliance Chief has turned things around this time, but if he really wishes to intervene in the matters of our Pill Hall, chaos will stir. An old man with a pale face and hair that reached his shoulders was sitting on a chair by the side. He also slowly opened his mouth and spoke. Gu He frowned when he heard these words. He glanced at Fa Ma by the side, but Fa Ma ignored him and kept his eyes shut. At that moment, Gu He could only say, the Alliance Chief is also an alchemist. Moreover, his alchemist skills far surpass mine. He is not some layman. Chief Gu, you cannot put it like this. The Alliance Chief has been away most of the time. The current Pill Hall is completely different from before. Is the Alliance Chief more aware than us of the various issues we face? That old man called Lu Chong indifferently responded. He smiled when he reached the end before continuing, moreover, refining a Tier 8 medicinal pill is not something that one can simply speak of. Everyone should be clearly aware of this. The Alliance Chief might indeed be strong, but it does not mean that he will be able to refine a Tier 8 medicinal pill. The few of us are all Tier 7 high-grade alchemists. Naturally, we understand the difficulty of advancing to a Tier 8 alchemist guru. The Alliance Chief is still so young. The chances of him breaking through are likely not high. Whether the Alliance Chief can refine a Tier 8 medicinal pill is not something that you should concern yourself about. In any case, everyone should just arrive on time tomorrow. Please do not do anything wrong. As long as you are not guilty in your heart, the Alliance Chief will not do anything. All right, all of you should leave. Gu He frowned and immediately replied in a somewhat impatient voice. Lu Chong and the other elder frowned when they heard Gu He speak. However, they could not say anything more. Gu He's prestige was greater than the two of them combined. They immediately cupped their hands, turned around, and led their people away. The large room became empty in an instant when these people left. Gu He waved his hand and dismissed the rest. After which, he turned his head and looked at Fa Ma. He bitterly smiled and said, "Old brother Fa Ma, how do you view this matter? You should be aware of the changes in the atmosphere of the Pill Hall during these years. You are not very good at managing things. This has resulted in Lu Chong and Friend becoming stronger in the Pill Hall." Fa Ma opened his eyes at this moment. He picked up his teacup and continued in a faint voice. The old me advises you to not get involved in this. You should be aware of the tactics of the Alliance Chief. He will not be soft when it is time to be vicious. Although the Pill Hall is important, it cannot pressure the Alliance Chief. It is not out of the realm of possibility to disband it. Additionally, with the Alliance Chief's current strength and eyesight, he might not really think highly of the current Pill Hall. Gu He's heart turned slightly cold. He was aware that Fa Ma was old and extremely experienced. He had showed signs of retiring ever since Lu Chang's duo became stronger and started to manage things. Normally, he did not bother with anything. However, no one in the Pill Hall dared to underestimate his ability. After all, the Pill Hall was mostly formed from members of the Alchemist Association. They still respected Fa Ma. The older generation Pill Hall members were all on Fa Ma's side. This time around, the Pill Hall is destined to undergo a drastic change. Given Alliance Chief's character, he will not just sit back and allow such a cancer to develop. Fortunately, even though you are not good at managing, you did not get involved in certain matters. Otherwise, I'm afraid that you would have difficulty escaping responsibility. Fa Ma slowly spoke. Now, let's just wait quietly. These people will be unlucky tomorrow. He could only bitterly smile and nod his head when he heard Fa Ma's words. The Pill Hall quickly became lively when the first ray of morning sun landed on the mysterious yellow fortress. Many alchemists, who had received the order, woke up early and hurried to the pill refinement grounds of the Pill Hall. Some of the upper echelons of the Pill Hall, like Gu He and Fa Ma, were already waiting there. Gu He frowned when he looked at the 100+ alchemists in the square. He did not see Lu Chong or Wu Zhen among them. Those two old fellows are really reckless. Gui's expression was a little cold when he didn't find them. Those two old fellows are too used to bossing people around. No one dared to punish them given their Tier 7 alchemist rank. Gui's heart suddenly shook while he was quietly cursing. He lifted his head, only to see a couple of figures walking through the sky. They appeared in the air above the square in front of numerous gazes. The one leading them was Xiao. Greetings, Alliance Chief. Gui's group hurriedly greeted when they saw Xiao appear. The other alchemists quickly followed. Xiao eyes slowly swept over the area below. He slightly nodded. Compared to back then, the current Pill Hall was much larger. No wonder these troublesome matters had occurred. Xiao's body flashed, and he appeared on a towering stone stage on the square made for pill refinement. He faintly said, "Today, I will take out my cauldron and refine a Tier 8 medicinal pill. Everyone should observe the process. This will benefit you in the future." The hearts of many people involuntarily shook when they heard these words. Although they had heard the news, they still could not resist being shaken when they heard that Xiao was planning on refining a Tier 8 medicinal pill. Across the entire northwestern part of the continent, those who could refine a medicinal pill of such a tier were extremely rare existences. Xiao sat on the stone stage after his words sounded. He waved his hand, and a medicinal cauldron appeared in the sky. He rubbed his palms, and many medicinal ingredients that were filled with powerful energies floated around his body. "Ha ha, I have arrived a little later, and nearly missed the Alliance Chief refining pills." A laugh was suddenly emitted while Xiao was preparing to act. Two elder figures led around a dozen-plus figures over from outside of the square. A gray-robed elder cupped his hands to Xiao on the stage and laughed. Xiao's eyes glanced at this group, after which they slowly swept over them. A moment later, he laughed. "Since you are here, please take a seat." The corner of Lu Chong and Wu Zhen's eyes twitched when they heard Xiao's calm and emotionless voice. Only then did they sense that this extremely young Alliance Chief was not as easy to deal with as they had imagined. The both of them looked at each other and vaguely felt an uneasiness. However, this was quickly suppressed by the two of them. They were genuine Tier 7 alchemists and could be ranked among the top within the northwestern region. Even a faction like the Yin Alliance would feel a great pain should it lose them. Xiao glanced at this group before withdrawing his eyes. He flicked his finger, and a purple-brown flame whizzed into the medicinal cauldron, after which he waved his sleeve. The hundreds of medicinal ingredients around him continuously charged into the medicinal cauldron with some whistling noises, after which they were refined by the flame within a short instant. This entire refinement process was extremely smooth and did not even pause once. A vast and mighty spiritual strength slowly spread from Xiao after the many medicinal ingredients charged into the flame. All the alchemists who sensed this spiritual pressure revealed grave faces. A rich respect and fear gradually appeared in their eyes. Lu Chang and Wu Zhen had also sensed it. Their bodies involuntarily quivered. A shock that could not be hidden was present in their eyes. This kind of spiritual pressure was something that only a Tier 8 alchemist possessed. In other words, Xiao Yan had truly reached the Tier 8 alchemist level. What a frightening spiritual pressure! Gu He let out a long sigh as he muttered. Fa Ma by the side also smiled as his eyes glanced at the stunned duo. A cold smile appeared on his face. The days when these two old fellows could act arrogant in the pill hall had come to an end. A great heat radiated from the dark red medicinal cauldron, causing the temperature grow hot and the air to become dry. Refining a Tier 8 medicinal pill was extremely complicated. Nearly 100 different types of medicinal ingredients were involved. An ordinary alchemist could forget about the refinement process. They would have their hands full just controlling these medicinal ingredients in the air. Of course, this did not pose the slightest problem for Xiao Yan's mighty ocean like spiritual strength. Numerous high-grade medicinal ingredients that most alchemists present had never even heard of were thrown into the medicinal cauldron. The flame within the cauldron only needed to randomly sweep over before the pure medicinal strength in the medicinal ingredient was perfectly refined. Finally, the pure energies would remain suspended in the medicinal cauldron. They were packed together while emitting a shockingly pure energy. The first start pill was a medicinal pill that could attract a 5-colored pill lightning. A medicinal pill of this grade did not pose much of a problem for the current Xiao Yan. After years of training, Xiao Yan's spiritual strength was much greater than what it had been at the pill gathering. Hence, this first start pill might be extremely troublesome to refine, but the refinement proceeded smoothly for Xiao Yan. The refinement of medicinal pills, especially a Tier 8 medicinal pill, was a time-consuming task. Even with the aid of a heavenly flame, half a day had passed by the time Xiao Yan had fully refined all the medicinal ingredients. The alchemists in the square were completely immersed by Xiao Yan's smooth pill refinement process. None of them had realized so much time had passed. At the same time, the respect in their eyes was becoming richer. Xiao Yan's techniques were really too mysterious to them. None of the alchemist grandmasters they had met before could reach Xiao Yan's ability. 3 days quietly passed amid this quiet atmosphere. The number of alchemists whom Xiao Yan had attracted increased. Some of the alchemists who were not from the pill hall but were temporarily staying in the mysterious Yellow Fortress also hurried over after hearing about the refinement, causing the area around the pill hall to fill with people. There were even many people standing in the sky. With the increasing commotion, some experts who were not alchemists also hurried over. Due to the matter of the profound lion sect, quite a number of factions and experts had sought refuge with the Yin Alliance. Some of these people had left after the profound lion sect was defeated while many had remained. Currently, all of them had been attracted by the pill refinement. As the number of observers continued to increase, Kai Lin had no choice but to dispatch the experts from the Yin Alliance to maintain order and prevent any disturbances from interfering with Xiao Yan's pill refinement. Another 3 days passed as a countless number of people observed this process. Bang! On the 8th day after Xiao Yan became immersed in his pill refinement, thunder suddenly rumbled across the clear sky. Some of the experts with sharp senses discovered that the energy around them had become violent. While a disturbance had occurred because of these changes, thick, dark clouds suddenly began to appear in the sky without warning. Numerous silver, snake-like bolts of lightning vaguely shuttled through the clouds. A commotion appeared in the mysterious Yellow Fortress when everyone saw thunder clouds suddenly cover the clear sky. The expressions of many experts drastically changed. They could sense the terrifying energy contained within these thunder clouds. If the energy poured down, it would likely destroy half of the mysterious Yellow Fortress. While the mysterious Yellow Fortress had turned into an uproar, Xiao Yan, who had been seated on the stone stage, slowly opened his eyes. The thunderclouds seemed to have been sparked by something as they churned and became more brilliant. Within a short 2 minutes, the dark black thunderclouds had turned into brilliant 5-colored thunderclouds in front of the many startled eyes. Is this the legendary pill lightning? A devotion and excitement surfaced on the faces of all the alchemists present as they studied the 5-colored thundercloud in the sky. This kind of pill lightning was something that many alchemists were unable to summon even after spending their entire life attempting to do so. It is really a 5-colored pill lightning? Gu He and Fa Ma studied the sky, and Gu He softly sighed. His heart felt somewhat defeated as he stared at the skinny figure. No wonder Yun Yun ultimately loved him. This talent was something that Gu He had to admit that he did not have. Bang! An intense thunder suddenly reverberated while the thunder clouds churned in the sky. The cloud layer suddenly broke apart as a 1,000-foot-long 5-colored pill lightning suddenly blasted down toward Xiao below in front of many shocked pairs of eyes. Upon sensing the frightening energy contained within the 5-colored pill lightning, even the expressions of Kai Lin's group involuntarily changed. Xiao slowly lifted his head and glanced at the 5-colored pill lightning as it tore through the sky and rushed over like an enormous dragon. With a flick of his finger, a dark golden body appeared. The dark golden body ruthlessly collided with the pill lightning. Chi! The two collided, and that incomparably ferocious pill lightning disappeared in an instant, causing many people to reveal stunned faces. Their eyes carefully glanced over, and they discovered an expressionless hollow-eyed puppet. It was Xiao Yan's sky demon puppet. Rumble! The thunder clouds in the sky seemed to have been angered after the sky demon puppet devoured the pill lightning. Numerous 5-colored lightning pillars came pouring down in a crazy fashion. However, none of them broke through the sky demon puppet's defense. These uncontrollable thunderbolts continued for nearly 10 minutes before the clouds gradually paled. The frightening thunder clouds slowly disappeared in front of many frightened eyes. A Tier 8 medicinal pills pill lightning is indeed frightening. Such a strength is something that even some elite dozuns cannot endure. Many people present quietly clicked their tongues after watching the pill lightning slowly disappear. A medicinal pill of such a tier really could not be refined by an ordinary person. Xiao beckoned with his hand after seeing the pill lightning disappear. He returned the sky demon puppet to his storage ring. With a flick of his finger, the cauldron cover was pulled open. A rainbow color explosively shot away with lightning-like speed. It was just about to flee into the distance when Xiao reached out with his hand. An invisible wind firmly restrained the pill before it was eventually sucked to his palm. It was subsequently stuffed into a jade bottle that was then thrown into his storage ring. Alliance Chief is mighty. A deafening cheer immediately resounded when everyone saw Xiao successfully refine the pill. Many alchemists' faces were red as their eyes stared at Xiao with a fiery heat. This was the first time that they had ever seen an alchemist of this tier and a pill lightning of this level. Xiao smiled when he heard these overwhelming cheers. He smiled and gently pressed his hands down. His eyes slowly swept over the faces of all the alchemists present. Finally, they paused on Lu Chong and Wu Zhen's faces. At this moment, their expressions were a little unnatural, and they did not dare to meet Xiao eyes. This pill refinement is only one of the reasons I have come to the pill hall this time around. The entire place became completely silent when everyone heard Xiao faint voice. Some people began to feel uneasy. They seemed to predict what was going to happen. The pill hall is one department of the Yin Alliance. Its status is no different than the other halls, but some people have begun to gain an arrogance during these years. They ignore the Yin Alliance and act selfishly, resulting in an internal disharmony. This is a great offense. Xiao expression slowly became cold. His chilling cry echoed next to everyone's ears. I have a list of names here. Everyone on it has a charge against them. Xiao Yin clenched his hand, and a scroll appeared in it. He subsequently tossed it to Kai Lin and commanded in a deep voice, "Read." Many people trembled when they heard Xiao Yan's deep voice. A chill appeared in their hearts. Kai Lin received the scroll. Her pretty eyes coldly swept over everyone present. The names recorded on it were those who were the most arrogant. Some had even caused a lot of trouble, but these troubles were eventually swept away. In the past, she had worried about the pill hall, so she could only tolerate these grievances. However, with Xiao Yan's return, such worry had completely disappeared. Pill Hall First Department, Hu Zhou, ignores orders and acts arrogantly. He once delayed the delivery of medicinal pills due to some personal matters, resulting in the deaths of hundreds of Yin Alliance brothers. Pill Hall Second Department, He Yuan Ming, secretly pocketed the medicinal ingredients of the Yin Alliance. Not only did he not plead guilty after being exposed, he even injured the person who had exposed him. Pill Hall First Department. The faces of some of the alchemists within the Pill Hall suddenly turned pale when they heard the many names that were spoken from Kai Lin's mouth. Pill Hall elders, Lu Chong and Wu Zhan, becoming arrogant because of their contributions, not obeying orders, and withdrawing from battle. They have secretly sold Yin Alliance medicinal pills and pocketed the profits. The square turned into an uproar when Kai Lin's final cold cry sounded. Lu Chong and Wu Zhan's expressions paled. It was unexpected that Xiao Yin would dare to act against them. A country has its laws and an alliance has its own rules. Those that have been mentioned will be dealt with according to the alliance rules. No one will be spared. Xiao Yin spoke in a faint voice. Alliance chief. Lu Chong and Wu Zhan suddenly stood up and furiously cried out, "The both of us are Tier 7 high-grade alchemists. Both of us have helped develop the Pill Hall to its current state. Are you planning to get rid of us now that it has become successful? Your merit does not make up for your mistakes. The Yin Alliance is not a loose organization. No one can break its rules." Xiao Yin coldly cried out. There would be no standards without rules. If the Pill Hall were allowed to continue along this path, internal discord would soon form within the Yin Alliance. Hence, Xiao Yin would not show mercy if he really needed to be ruthless. Bastard! Who cares about this Pill Hall elder position? This elderly self will quit. Lu Chong and Wu Zhan's faces alternated between green and white. A moment later, they coldly laughed. With a wave of their sleeves, they cried out loud, "Will anyone leave with the two of us?" Upon hearing this cry, the alchemists in the square glanced at each other. Finally, some of their close confidants and some of the names that had been read, who knew that they would be down on their luck if they stayed, hurriedly walked forward and followed Lu Chang's group. Lu Chong and Wu Zhan involuntarily smiled in a pleased manner when they saw these people. They looked at Xiao Yin and said, "Alliance Chief, if this place does not allow us to stay, there will be another that will. Goodbye." A smile suddenly appeared on Xiao Yan's face as he stared at the duo, who had coldly smiled and turned around. He slowly asked, "Kai Lin, what kind of punishment awaits those who privately betray the alliance and leave?" An icy cold arc lifted on the corner of Kai Lin's lips when she heard this. She replied in a faint voice, "Death without mercy." Lu Chang's group, who had just turned around and left, suddenly stilled when they heard Kai Lin's words.